Most people don't have the guts to face this truth. The more we chase answers in this world, the more we run into emptiness. Cars, status, picture-perfect relationships, all that stuff promises happiness, but it vanishes like smoke. But what if I told you Solomon figured out that whole cycle thousands of years ago? Yep, the book of Ecclesiastes isn't just some old poetry. It's a powerful guide to consciousness, spirituality, and that inner strength that keeps us going when everything else falls apart. While a lot of people live on autopilot, stacking up stuff and distractions, very few stop and ask, what's the point of it all? Ecclesiastes hits that question head-on with a kind of wisdom that still holds up, even in the chaos of our modern lives. Buckle up. What you're about to hear might flip your mindset upside down. For the first time, you might start seeing your life from a brand new angle, one that brings peace, spiritual strength, and above all, purpose. And by the end of this, I promise, you won't see your choices the same way again. Solomon, blessed with God-given wisdom, drops this bombshell: vanity of vanities, everything is vanity. And no, it's not just poetic talk, it's a wake-up call. While the world's out chasing cars, followers, and status, Solomon invites us to raise our awareness and connect with something way deeper. Anyone who's ever realized that a new phone or a job promotion doesn't bring lasting joy, yeah, they know exactly what this spiritual message is all about. Think about it. How many people do you know who have it all and still feel empty? Real strength doesn't come from what fades. It comes from what lasts. Spending time with family, being generous, diving into spirituality and seeking real wisdom, those are the treasures time can't steal. That's where the journey begins, where every single choice starts to reflect what truly matters. Solomon wasn't exaggerating when he said there's a time for everything: to be born, to die, to plant, to harvest. That spiritual awareness teaches us that rushing things doesn't equal strength. Sometimes the strongest move is to wait, like a farmer who knows no seed blooms overnight. It's wild how fast people lose hope when things don't happen right away. But folks who develop that inner strength know God's always working behind the scenes. As time rolls on, He's shaping not just the situation, but also us, our awareness, our spirit. And once you get that, it changes the way you face every twist and turn in life. Ever felt anxious, not knowing what the future holds? Solomon gets it and reminds us that pushing through, even when we can't see results, is a spiritual act of courage. God sees every seed we plant, even the ones no one else notices, and in the right time, He brings the harvest. Here's the deal. You might pray for years, begging for a breakthrough, and feel like heaven's on mute. But just because you don't hear an answer doesn't mean God isn't acting. In the meantime, practicing gratitude, staying positive, and walking by faith are what hold you up. That's what it looks like to trust Jesus on the good days and the not-so-good ones too. Money can buy comfort, muscle can solve problems, but only wisdom, the kind guided by God, truly protects your life. Solomon knew that long before emotional intelligence became a thing. Wisdom is a spiritual shield that helps you avoid traps dressed up as opportunities. Want real-life examples? Try this. Read the Bible every day. Dig into books like The Pilgrim's Progress or Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Get yourself a spiritual mentor. These simple steps build the kind of mindset that sees beyond what's obvious and that prepares your heart for life's biggest decisions. In the spiritual journey, few enemies are more dangerous than pride. Solomon, with all his insight, shows us that admitting your own weaknesses is actually a sign of strength. Real spirituality calls us to look at others with compassion, not judgment. Want to put that into practice? Start by forgiving someone, even if they never say sorry. Take time to really listen to someone who needs to talk. Little actions like these come from a higher awareness and reflect the kind of humility Jesus showed us over and over again. Worried about tomorrow? Totally normal. but living stuck in the future is risky. Solomon reminds us that the future belongs to God, and trying to control it only leads to frustration. Real spiritual strength is trusting that even when you don't know what's next, God's already got it covered. In real life, that means yes, pray for your future, but live your present with excellence. Like the saying goes, do your part, and God will handle what you can't. This isn't just a feel-good idea. It's a spiritual strategy that brings peace when life feels out of control. Wisdom isn't just knowing what to do, it's knowing when to do it. Solomon teaches that a wise heart knows when to act and when to wait. That kind of spiritual sensitivity is a gift that many overlook and even fewer chase after. Here's a challenge for you. Before making a big decision, try sitting in silence. Pray. Read Proverbs or Ecclesiastes. Ask yourself, is this a moment to move or to observe? When you learn that rhythm, your life lines up with God's purpose, and you avoid rushed decisions that could throw you off track. People love to say, when I have more time, I'll do better. But Solomon shuts that excuse down. He reminds us that life is short, and even the smallest task should reflect our inner strength and spirituality. Right now is all we've got. So if you're washing dishes, do it with excellence. If you work in an office, let your decisions be guided by ethics and purpose. This isn't overthinking, this is practical spirituality. Because when you're faithful with little, you're preparing for the greater things God has waiting for you. The world says the most talented always win, but Solomon flips that idea. Success doesn't come from effort alone, it comes from God's grace. Ever seen someone with all the qualifications get passed up by someone with less? Exactly. Life is full of stories like that, and that's not coincidence. It's a divine reminder that blessings follow God's timing, not human metrics. So instead of competing, the real goal is to stay aligned with the spiritual purpose Jesus showed us. Oh, it was just a little slip-up. Who hasn't said that? But Solomon warns us, even small mistakes can wreck a reputation built on wisdom and spirituality. It's like a fly in a bottle of expensive perfume. That one tiny thing can ruin everything. That's why staying sharp matters. Not in a paranoid way, but in an aware way. Be careful with your words, your promises, your split-second decisions. Little things shape big destinies, and folks who get that walk stronger and avoid invisible traps. Solomon gives us this powerful image. Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again. Generosity is a spiritual seed that always comes back, even when time makes us doubt. And the return? It's not just material, it's peace, strength, and a deeper awareness. What does that look like? Give without expecting anything back. Help your neighbor. Support a cause. Spend time with someone who just needs a little hope. Every act of kindness is a spiritual investment, and those who cast their bread over the water, they always reap a harvest, even if it comes from unexpected places. And to wrap it all up, Solomon drops the ultimate truth. The greatest duty of mankind is to fear God and keep His commandments, not like a heavy burden, but as a path of real awareness, positivity, and deep, grounded spirituality. That's what gives life meaning. When your choices are guided by the fear of God, even the hard days feel like they're part of a bigger plan. And once that truth clicks, you start living with a strength the world can't explain and definitely can't take away. Now, after everything you've just heard, let me ask you, are you still gonna keep chasing the wind? Or are you finally ready to go after what really lasts? The wisdom Solomon shared isn't just some ancient lesson. It's a practical invitation to live with awareness, spirituality, and strength. You can't keep ignoring this. Every decision you make shapes not just your present, but your eternity. So tell me, what are you going to put into practice first? Which part hit home for you the most? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear how this message spoke to your heart. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. so you never miss another message that strengthens your spirit and draws you closer to Jesus. Let's keep growing together on this journey.